Do you want to be a better overall player? Then respect and get better at pepper. Yes, I said pepper, that tedious, mundane warm-up drill that we all do every practice, every single day. This poor drill just gets taken for granted. Don't take it for granted. Get better at pepper. It's boring, right? Let me ask you this. Is your favorite movie boring? Is your favorite restaurant boring? I bet there is something in your life that just never gets old. And there may even be something new that you discover that you didn't catch before. For volleyball players, that should be pepper. Why should we care more about being better at pepper? It shows intent, it shows control, it shows purpose, it shows a willingness to take a ball that may be played out of a good contact and getting it back in a controlled contact. And if you can do that out of control contact back into control with less stress or less stiff and make it look kind of easy and relaxed and professional, that shows a very mature volleyball game. Also, not to mention, sometimes coaches are watching and that may be the only chance that they get to see you play. If you're not getting a lot of playing time, pepper is going to be your best opportunity to display what you can do and how controlled your skills and your intent can be. Because chances are, if your pepper game is good, your overall game is probably pretty good too. Let's watch some clips of Morgan Hentz peppering with her partner. Morgan Hentz is a player on our women's national team. She also plays for the Atlanta Vibe in the PVF, and she's pretty experienced, so let's watch her do a few. As her partner is starting their pepper, I'm seeing Morgan ready ahead of time. She's nice and relaxed, her movements are smooth, she's never completely stopped in an abrupt fashion. As her partner is digging, Morgan is already getting ready in a position to set. She makes a bump set to her partner and then looks for body language, does her pre-hop on time, gets in her posture very quickly, nice and early, and then makes a good dig, a good controlled dig. After the dig, she knows that the next skill she's gonna have to do is hit. So as her partner is setting the ball, Morgan's arm is already ready, her elbow's nice and fluid, she has a good hand contact and just swings right through the ball. She's never really stopped. She's always in a continuous motion. It might be a slow motion and a deliberate motion. Now, sometimes with smooth motions like that, it looks a little bit lazy, and you can afford to look a little bit lazy if you already know what you're meant to be doing next. And if you're preparing for that motion, then you're actually ahead of the play and not behind the play and late. That's what makes it look fluid and professional and smooth. When you're using pepper as a warm-up, what are you actually warming up? You're warming up for a game, but the parts of your game that you're warming up are three things. First, physical warm-up. Are you warming up your elbow? How fluid is your elbow? Are you twisting your whole body when you hit? Are you using your whole body? Are you torquing? Are you twisting? Is it in one motion or is it broken up? You're warming up your movements to be smooth and fast and confident. The second thing that you're warming up in pepper is your readiness. And that's a cognitive readiness. Your cognitive readiness and your mind's ability to be ready can make you physically ready also. And that's what I saw with Morgan and her pre-hop, getting ready to stop when she digs right before the hitter contacts the ball, cues your readiness to dig that ball. It also makes your legs ready to dig that ball. Readiness is also looking for information from your partner. Is your partner leaning to the side? That may tell you where she might hit it. Then you're ready to make that move to the ball. The third thing that you're warming up in pepper is feel. Feeling and touching the ball. How does the ball come off of your platform? How does the ball come out of your hands? Is it soft? Is it punchy? Is it rigid? Is it stiff? Are you finishing that move? Are you controlling where the ball goes on purpose? Even though pepper may not always be game-like, you are repeating all of the game-like fundamental skills that you're going to use throughout the game. So, for example, if you're digging the ball back to the hitter, you would never dig the ball back to the hitter over the net, but you're using that pre-hop and that readiness and that feel to tune up that dig. There's also more than one way that you can pepper. Here's a few different variations. This variation is a three-person pepper where the person that's in the middle is always the setter. It's still a pass, set, hit, but the setter is going to set the person that digs it to her. Now, one thing while watching these three girls pepper, it's pretty good, but I think it could be better. If you watch the far side player closest to the net swing at her first opportunity that the setter sets her, her arm isn't ready, she's not in a good position with the ball, and she doesn't quite get fully open, so she has to kind of shot put that ball to her partner. It ends up looking like she kind of whacked the ball. Her partner on the other side, in the green shorts closest to us, makes a move late for that ball, and so does the setter. Their moves are all just a little bit late. Another thing that I notice is that the player that's close to us, when she goes to hit this, she changes her arm swing to try to help the other player on the far side, make it easier for her, but it actually doesn't make it any easier for her. If you just take a nice, natural, easy, fluid swing and get a good, confident contact on that ball, the digger actually has an easier time digging it. So you're not actually doing your partner any favors by trying to make it easier for her. Here's another variation. This is a 5-person pepper where you're playing kind of the same version where the setter is always the same and she stays in the middle, but there's 2 on either side, like doubles instead of 1 person on either side. Now, the setter can set whoever she wants to set, and the hitter hits it across to the partner, and it's pepper like normal. There's just 2 people instead. This is another version of a 3-person pepper. Not my favorite version. I think it's a little bit less controllable. You have to be really, really fast and really, really good to make this pepper work. Because as you can see, these players are a little bit off balance when they're making their contacts. And it's pretty good. I think it can be better, but there's a lot of running involved in this one. But it can be done. This final version of pepper is kind of a team pepper. There's more people involved and they're doing something a little bit different. The setter is still saying the same. She's the same setter throughout the whole drill. And it looks like the person who digs the ball is the person that she ends up setting. Now, after the dig, all the other players shift around to get in front of the hitter on the opposite side of the hitter so that the hit can go to one of those 3 people. And whoever digs it is going to become the next hitter. And the other players just shift around. Now, what I'd like to see these players doing a little bit better in this version of pepper is getting to their ready positions to dig a little bit sooner and then getting in their posture and trying to touch the ball before the hitter actually hits it. Then it doesn't have to look like such an emergency late move to that ball. And the hitter, her arm isn't quite ready. It's drawn back, but it's really late, and she lets the ball get very close to her before she swings instead of swinging on the ball's way to her. If you're swinging on the ball's way to you, then you have a much more solid contact, hand contact on that ball versus waiting until it gets too close. When it's too close, it ends up kind of being more like a punch. And right here, I hate to call out coaches, but fortunately I don't know who this coach is. But this coach gets ready to dig just too late. He ends up having to make a 1-arm move. The setter has already made a move somewhere else and didn't read the dig and now has to make an emergency move and they can't continue the play. I'd like to see that digger in a ready posture before the hitter hits it and already touching it kind of at the same time she does. And then using some body shaping to make sure that ball goes to target. And if the setter is looking for better information, she's getting ready to move in a more balanced posture sooner. To recap, there are some very good reasons to make sure that your pepper game levels up. Those reasons are shows intent, it shows control, it shows a willingness to go get out of control balls back into control, it shows game IQ, it shows fluidity, it shows intent, it shows joy, and it may be the only time that a coach gets to see you play. And to make sure that we're remembering what pepper actually is warming up, it is first, your physical body, your physical movements. Second, your readiness, both cognitive and physical readiness. And third, getting good touches and feel and rhythm on your contacts. So be better at pepper to be a better player. This is Addie with Sports Idol Nation. Sports is in our DNA. We hope it's in yours too.